I uploaded your definitions to Moodle, so you can see what other students wrote. They are anonymous, but you can see what other students wrote about this. Though I want to present you 3 definitions for the term logistics. The first one is just the language origin of the word, from the Greek logos. It means order. Yeah, something is ordered, sequence. And from the French loger, it means allocate. Allocate is very good. We are allocating resources. We are deciding where to place our location for our warehouse, for example. We decide, if you think of the economic order quantity and the inventory management, we allocate resources, we make the decision how many quantities, what quantity of a good we should order for our warehouse. Yeah. So this is in this allocation decision. Number 2, logistics means organization, movement, and storage of material and people. This is a very straightforward definition. Everyone can imagine something. It's about material and people and how we organize the movement and the storage of people and goods. Now, definition number 3 is a little bit more comprehensive. And number 3 reads as follows. So logistics is the discipline, the scientific discipline, that studies the functional activities determining the flow of materials and the information that is related to this flow of materials in an organization, typically a commercial company, but it can also be a non-commercial company, of course, from the origin at their suppliers, though that means outside the company, up to the delivery of the finished products to the customer of this company and the post-sales services. So here they include also the post-sales services. They consider a whole chain, a network of companies that are connected by this flow of materials. So somehow the main message that was also in many of the student definition is we want to manage the flow of materials, and we manage this flow of materials by having a lot of information, a lot of data about these materials and making good decision on how to manage this. So I'm not saying this is the only definition of logistics or this is the 100% precise and correct definition of logistics. Usually when you are in science, the more you discuss a topic, the more opinions you will get. And if you look in different textbooks, as you just saw from the exercise, you will find different definitions of logistics. And therefore, I'm not saying this is the only definition that is acceptable, but I think this definition covers many relevant aspects, and therefore it's just a useful definition. Okay. I know we did not discuss the term supply chain management in detail, but still you have already heard about supply chains and supply chain management. So when you look in the literature, there's often a discussion, is logistics a part of supply chain management, or is it vice versa? Is supply chain management a part of logistics? Or are they completely different concepts? Or is there some overlap in the methods? And we cannot finalize this discussion here in particular because you did not see all the details that are related to supply chain management. but I just want you to be aware of this discussion. And again, this is also related when you are looking for jobs. If they search someone who's an expert in supply chain management or a manager of the supply chain, should you apply when you studied logistics, for example? This is a very important question. And from my point of view, yes, of course, definitely you should apply because you are well suited to do the job. So these are Venn diagrams, you know them from math. And this means, number one, that all the supply chain activities include all the logistics activities, but supply chain is more than logistics. So this is number one. Number two says there are some activities that are considered supply chain activities. There are some activities that are considered logistics activities. There is a small overlap between the two of them, but logistics is something else or has some activities that are not in supply chain management and vice versa. And number three shows you that all the supply chain management activities are part of logistics activities. Yeah. And again, depending on where you go, there might be different opinions about this, but as we said, and I think most of the students had the same opinion and the same spirit in their definition, logistics is about the flow of materials from an origin to a destination. And that's also what supply chain management is concerned with. So in my opinion, or this is the opinion we here at GeoTech follow, that supply chain activities are a part of all the logistics activities. Yeah, though your program is named Bachelor of Science in Logistics, and you have different logistics courses and you have different supply chain management courses. So supply chain management is a part of the logistics activities. This is the point of view that we follow here most of the time. Yeah, but again, other authors, other professors might have a different opinion. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about knowing the different point of views that are out there and having arguments to support the different point of views. The concept of supply chain management is younger than the concept of logistics. And therefore, when they first started discussing supply chain management, they said this is something new, that is something in addition to logistics. And at that time, it was right. But in the meantime, the activities from supply chain management have been just assumed by the logistics management activities. So this is the reason why now we follow the definition number three, the opinion number three, that supply chain activities are a part of logistics activities. Okay. Do you have questions on the definition of logistics? Do you have questions on the exercise that you did? It was good that some students uploaded some documents. No questions. That's fine. Yeah. Good, good. Okay. Then let's move on to the planning activities. What were the management activities? What did we say? What were the main activities of management? Planning, yes. Very good. Organizing, yes. I need one more, at least one more. Controlling, yes. Yes. So planning, organizing, controlling. Again, other authors, or when you have a course about management, they might include many, many more, but these are the main things. And we are looking in this course mainly on planning activities. And I want to give a first overview of some planning activities and how to do the planning by means of mathematical methods. Okay, let's start. Here you already got it. Planning, taking the best decision possible according to some objective of our logistics system. This is an easy definition of planning. So it's about decision making, and we want to make the best decision possible. It's when you plan your study program, which courses you should take. You try to do the best decision possible according to your objectives. Your objectives might be finishing as quick as possible, study slowly, relaxed, and not taking too many courses, or trying to maximize your grades, whatever. Though the objectives might be different for different persons. Organizing, in short, this means structuring the human resources. So who should do which task? And this is mainly related within a company. When we are talking about logistics, we might also try to organize the logistics network. So who are our suppliers? How can we work with our suppliers? What are our customers? What do our customers want? How can we work with the customers of our customers, etc. And we have some controlling tasks. And controlling is related to measuring the performance of a logistics system according to some standards. And it's not only about measuring the performance, but when we realize something is wrong, we don't meet our performance objectives, then making proposals on what to do, what to change in order to improve the system. And then often this initiates a replanning of the first step. Though often all these steps are somehow interdependent. Let me check the chat messages. Yes, when we have, here's one message about identifying the alternatives. This is what you do for the planning. You think about what is your goal, what are possible alternatives, and then you evaluate each alternative. What are the pros, what are the cons? And after you're done with this, you can take the decision. That's correct, Yahweh. Have you heard about the different planning levels, strategic plans, tactical plans, operational plans or decisions? Maybe in business environment. Ryan, which standards do you mean? You are asking about if they are differing from country to country. Are you talking about these planning levels or something else? I would say no. This is these planning levels. I mean, different people might have different ideas what they consider a strategic decision or a tactical decision or operational decision, but typically it is not very different between countries. It's more about the background of the people who make these decisions. Are we just focusing on planning? Now in today's lecture, yes, we are focusing on planning, and although many other steps are related to planning. Yeah, the organizing does not play such a big role in the logistics program. Controlling more, but many things are related to planning. The thing is, making good plans is very important because it has a big impact on the performance of your system. And implicitly, by planning, you also make organizational decisions. And of course, you need to know very well about your performance criteria. So if you're a good planner, you somehow cover these other activities as well. Yeah, I'm not saying then you cover everything automatically, but planning is somehow the core of the things. Therefore, our many courses at Geotech about logistics are related to some kind of planning problems. So, what are the differences between these three planning levels? Strategic, tactical, operational. Let's start with number 3, operational. Often you find an explanation that operational is only about short-term decisions. Yeah, that's more or less true, but with respect to planning, what is a better criteria to differentiate it from others? Operational decisions are based on actual data. For example, actual orders from our customers, actual stock, actual inventory level, the actual trucks that we are having, the actual things that are happening that we can observe, the actual data that is in our IT system from actual transactions. Now, when we go to the tactical and strategic decisions, of course, the planning is still based on some data that is in our systems, but now we try to make these decisions more and more on a different nature of data. We try to integrate forecasts in our decision making. What is a forecast? What is a forecast? What do you think is a forecast? Summary is not correct. Estimation, yeah. So we have plan, yeah, prediction, yeah. It's related to the future. We want to estimate, we want to predict what's going to happen in the future. For example, a forecast could be how many customers will place an order for me, for my product in the next months. Yeah. So then I can plan my capacity, my machines, my staff. If I think I will have many orders or I have the same orders as this month, for example, now with COVID and a restaurant wants to plan the stuff and the food they will sell in the next months, and they know now we open again, so then they have to find some idea to predict, to estimate the number of meals, the number of customers they might have in the next months. Yeah, though they use a forecast, they have some idea what they might sell in the next months. If we look at one evening at a restaurant and the actual customer orders, the actual customers that are already sitting inside the restaurant and they already placed an order, then this is the actual data. We already know our customer ordered this item from the menu, that item, and this item, and now we need to prepare the meal. If we do this for the next months, we have some forecasting problem. It might change, of course. There's uncertainty. It is not guaranteed that it happens as we forecast it. The data is uncertain, and we might make a mistake in our forecasting. And of course, this needs to be considered in the planning. Yes, it's not always correct, the forecasting. So this is the additional challenge in making the plans. And now we go to the strategic level. Yeah, these are decisions that have an impact on our company for a longer time, maybe even years. And of course, many of these strategic planning levels are also based on forecasts. But now, in addition to having a forecast, we have highly aggregated data. What does this mean, aggregating data? What do you think is the meaning of this aggregated? Yeah, total. So we are not looking at the details, but we're trying to aggregate this. We are, you write summary, yeah, it's something similar. So we combine them. It's not addition in mathematical terms, but we somehow combine them. So for example, when we at Geotech plan the next semester, yeah, then maybe we do a tactical planning. We already know which courses we should offer. It's almost sure. But for example, we have some life skill courses or elective courses, and it depends a little bit on how many students will choose these courses. And if not enough students choose such a course, we might not offer the course. Now, if we go to the more strategic level and have a more longer term perspective, we do more aggregation of data. We are not at this level then not interested what an individual student might do or might not do. We don't look at an individual student if they might fail a course or are eligible to take another course or something. We are more interested in the total number of students that are in our program. For example, we have 100 students, and based on this 100 students in the program, we make a lot of capacity decisions. How many professors should we hire? What qualifications should these professors bring to Geotech, for example? So we ignore the details and we try to, how can I say it? Yeah, you set sum up. I mean, we put all this data together and try to look at the big picture only. The level of detail is very low when we aggregate the data. Okay, so these are some rough ideas how to distinguish these concepts. Though, but again, it's not the full truth. So if we go back to the restaurant level, not all the operational decisions are made on actual data. Of course, when I want to plan for the things that are happening in this evening about the resources I need, I have also a lot of operational decisions, very short term for some hours, but not every decision is based on actual data. I have a small forecast for a very short period of time on which I make some decisions, and I still call it operational decision. Though this is somehow, you cannot just apply these concepts. You cannot just memorize these definitions and purely apply them. Yeah, you need to try to understand the concept, what this will say. It's just a rough criteria to distinguish these three levels of planning. Okay, strategic, tactical, operational. Can you tell me an example of a decision related to logistics on the strategic level or on the operational level? From the previous courses, from what you just know, from real life, whatever. You can either write in the chat or you can unmute yourself and explain it to us. Nothing wrong will happen if it's not perfect. Al Scheimer says warehouse location. Yeah. So would this be an operational decision or a strategic decision, deciding about the location of our warehouse? Strategic decision, yes. Yeah. So when we want to decide what the place of our warehouse should be, we clearly need to have some forecast about possible order flows, about possible jobs from our customers, and we use aggregated data and not individual small data sets. Expanding a factory, yeah, this is also part of a logistics decision. Would this be again more strategic or operational, Ahmed? Ahmed, or A7 MET 411 expanding factory, would this be a strategic decision or an operational decision? Ah, yeah, strategic. Yes, I agree. In most cases, this will be a strategic decision if we are not talking about a small individual machine that we want to add to our factory, but if we want to have a new building, for example, and increase the capacity of our factory in a substantial way, then it will be a strategic decision. So let me come up. Okay, transportation depends what exactly is meant by transportation. If we decide how should one package come from our shop to the customer, then this would be an operational problem. Of course, yeah, delivery, operational, yes. Jumana, delivery, operational decision, that's right, yeah. If you order with Talabat, this is an operational transport decision. What route to take in order to bring the food to the customer in the quickest possible way, to which driver to allocate this job. These are operational decisions related to logistics. The place of our organization is more of a long-term decision. Opening a new branch will be also a strategic decision. Labor, so if it's about hiring additional labor, or for example, making a work schedule, how many hours per day a person should work, when are the breaks, these are more operational decisions. But labor can also be a strategic decision. For example, if you need a certain qualification of your employees, yeah, and maybe in some regions this qualification is available or not available, then labor decisions can suddenly become also of a strategic nature. Yeah? The decision of Oman to have a stronger focus on logistics education is, from the point of view of the country of Oman, a strategic decision. Yeah? Order the demanded quantity. Yes, this will be an operational decision. And what methods do you know to solve this problem, order the demanded quantity? You already know some from last semester. Can you give an example of a method that we use to decide this problem about how much we should order? Yes, the economic order quantity, and we also discussed the news vendor problem. Yeah? These are two different methods to decide about the order quantity. Yeah, so see, you have already some good experience. Let's move on to the next slide. This is just from one textbook, a table about the first column shows you either a storage decision or a decision related to distribution. And then we have three more columns: strategic decision problems, tactical decision problems, operational decision problems. And here under the storage dimension, they say as a strategic decision, the selection of warehouse equipment, in particular when you are thinking about equipment that influence the operation of the warehouse. For example, a conveyor belt, or if you should use manual order picking by laborers, or if you use robots to pick your goods. Yeah? And this has a big impact on the whole operations in the warehouse, and therefore is considered a strategic decision. On the other hand, operational decisions, pickup of products from the storage area. So which products should be picked by which person, by which robot, by which entity or whatever. This is a very short-term and operational decision based on the actual data. Yeah? See, we have an actual customer order and we need to pick this item. Though this is based not on a forecast, but on actual data, while the selection of the warehouse equipment is somehow based on our idea of what might happen in the future, what services we should offer, and how to offer these in a cost-efficient way. So this is based on a forecast and on aggregation of data. Let's look at examples from the distribution category. Vehicle routing. Vehicle routing is a very important problem in logistics. It just means which of our vehicles, which of our trucks should perform which customer order, and in which sequence should the trucks visit our customers. So for example, if you are Pepsi and you want to plan the delivery of your beverages, of your Pepsi, of your Mountain Dew, etc., to the grocery stores, then you have to decide which truck should visit which grocery store and in what sequence shall they visit the grocery stores. This problem is a very fundamental and very important problem in logistics because there are so many variants and you can apply this problem to so many different sectors and branches and industries. So this is the vehicle routing problem, and a more strategic decision might be about the fleet size and composition. So how many trucks should you own as a trucking company? What sizes should these trucks be? Only big trucks, only medium-sized trucks, small-sized trucks? Should we go for diesel trucks only, or should we do something like electric trucks? Why is this important? In Europe, there are some bigger cities where you're not allowed to enter at any time of the day with your truck. So maybe the truck is only allowed to enter in the night time. So if you have maybe an electric vehicle truck or a small truck, then you are allowed to enter during the day as well. So this depends how you can decide about your logistic services. Okay, we don't need to go through all the examples, just that you see a little bit the different extremes between strategic and operational decisions. Now our soon time is again over soon. So you already know this picture. I will end now the presentation again and restart it, and you can log in again, and then you can explain to me how this picture works, how this process of these 4 steps works. This is what I'm going to ask you after we restart the session. What is the message of this picture? See you soon.